Good morning. Thank you for joining us. We will give it about 3 more minutes for more people to join. I'm noticing some people are trickling in, so we'll give about 2 more minutes. Thank you. Okay, I think we should be good to begin now. So good morning again. Thank you again for joining us. Welcome to Toolbox Tuesday, NCCER and Trades Futures, and also ICCB updates as well. So on the second Tuesday of each month, excluding holiday weeks, Illinois Works Peer Apprenticeship Program will host an optional 1-hour session open to all grantee staff members. These sessions are designed around the needs of grantees and are opportunities for all attendees to grow their metaphorical toolbox. Past session topics have included women in construction, marketing, and recruitment for pre-apprenticeship programs, navigating IWS from lead to follow-up, building transition relationships with union and non-union registered apprenticeship programs, among other topics. Now, you may have gotten a warning, but just want to give another disclaimer that this session is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Illinois Works Partner Guide as soon as we can. Also, please using the Mentimeter on your screen, click the blue continue button to access Mentimeter on the multimedia viewer. You may also scan the QR code using the web link to access it online. Again, you can use a QR code, scan it with your smartphone, or visit menti.com. The code is 89438916, and there is a web link as well. And that was put in the chat as well for us. Thank you very much for that. Now, let's get to know who is in the room today, who's here with us today. So using Mentimeter, please introduce yourself by typing your name, organization, agency, and your title in the chat. Please enter that in the Mentimeter. All right. So thank you for putting those answers in the Mentimeter. Greatly appreciate that. Now, as you are aware, the Illinois Works Peer Apprenticeship Program is supported by a dedicated and committed team. Oh, we're going back now. Okay. Uh, so,
Shift over to Mentimeter.
okay. So, again, so it looks like we're going back to entering your name, organization, agency, and role.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you. Okay, so great. Thank you for that. So we have, can you scroll up, please? Thank you. Robert from Bethel Family Resource Center, thank you for joining us. Elena Soriano from Metropolitan Family Services, Data Entry Coordinator, Thank you very much for joining us. Simon Summers from Chicagoland Prison Outreach, Vocational Manager. Thank you for joining us. Rochelle Haynes from CAPS, Transition Coordinator. Thank you for joining us. Rafael Matias from Rincon Family Services, Associate Director for Workforce Transition. Thank you very much for joining us, Rafael. Mercedes Torres from Rincon Family Services, Wraparound Service Coordinator. Thank you very much for joining us, Mercedes. Latanya Anderson, Community Assistance Program Administration. Thank you very much for joining us, Latanya. Gia from Illinois Works. Thank you, Gia, for joining us. Cassandra Clark from Bethel Family Resource Center, Transition Service Coordinator. Again, thank you very much for joining us. Jocelyn Benitez from Lewis University, Data Entry Coordinator. Thank you for joining us. I put myself down to participate in the activity as well. Hannah Fernandez from Metropolitan Family Services, a Program Administrator. Thank you very much for joining us. Janet Pareles with MFS as well, the Career Coach. Thank you very much for joining us. Sergio Dimas from Youth Book Lake County, the Apprenticeship Coordinator. Thank you for joining us. Marina, Metropolitan Family Services, a Career Coach and Wraparound Service Coordinator. Thank you for joining us. Roger Sosa from MFS. All right, MFS, you're showing up strong. Transition Service Coordinator, thank you very much for joining us. Victoria, Program Manager from Hire 360, thank you very much for joining us. Joe Chapa from Lewis University, Data Entry Coordinator, thank you very much for joining, Joe. S. Perkins from Bethel Family Resource Center, the Career Service Specialist, thank you very much for joining us. And last but not least, Bianca, Director of Workforce, Rincon Family Services. Thank you very much for joining us, Bianca, and everyone else. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for showing us who, who's in the room with us today. You saw your name or your colleagues, organization, agency. So I appreciate us being able to see that. And as you all are aware, especially, being at the end of the grant year, December, but still, I'd like to give a refresher. As you know, Illinois Works Peer Apprenticeship Program is supported by a dedicated and committed team. I'm Edwin Sanchez Molina, and here's our team here. Dr. Norman Ruano, Deputy Director of Illinois Works, Mr. Dan Martinez, the Financial Grant Management, Ms. Monica Pruitt, the Grant Manager Analyst, there's myself, Ms. Shoriana Foss, Grant Manager Analyst, Ms. Sue Writings, she's a Monitoring Grant Manager, Dr. Jeff Doolittle, Program Coach and Instructional Designer, Dr. Carlita Austin, Program Coach and Instructional Designer, Ms. Olivia Meisenbach, the Technical Writer, Ms. Kanisha Jones, the Program Coach and Instructional Designer, Mr. Shiva Jamula, and I'm sorry, Shiva, if I mispronounced that, the Virtual Producer, Dr. Gia Suggs, Professional Development Lead, Training Analyst, and Program Coach. Thank you very much for showing us who's here. And this is a summary of our team here. And we do have guests today. We have Ms. Kayleen Smith, Mr. Jack McHughes, Ms. Kayleen Smith, and Ms. Whitney Thompson today. And they'll be speaking later on. So here's an overview and outline of our meeting today. So we do have introductions, NCCER updates, TradesFuture updates, session evaluation, and I believe we also have ICCB updates as well. So we will be hearing from ICCB as well. So next up is Ms. Kayleen Smith to give us any updates on NCCER.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. So nice to be here to see you all. Next. My name's Kayleen Smith. I am one of the Senior Workforce Development Managers for NCCER. I am actually based just to the east of you all in Indiana. I do not cover the state of Illinois, though. I cover a lot of the Midwest states, but I'm filling in today for Dr. Jimmy Hall, who is the Workforce Development Manager for the state of Illinois. And I'm glad to do so because I love my Midwest folks and always happy to work in the Midwest. My background is in registered apprenticeship and workforce development. I have been a customer of NCCER's and used NCCER programs to build many apprenticeships and training programs, since about 2005. So it was a really easy transition for me into NCCER, and now I get to work all over the country to help others develop programs using the NCCER curriculum and programs. Next. So just a little bit about NCCER. First of all, what is NCCER? We are the National Center for Construction, Education, and Research. So we do a lot of things, but we are mainly a curriculum provider and an accrediting organization. We have a strong mission and vision, mainly to get more skilled trade workers into the industry. As we all know, for many years, everyone was pushed into the college, and we had a big gap there where no one was going into the trades. So now we are seeing that change a little bit. We've got the tool belt generation. We've got more people interested in those pathways and seeing the successful careers they can have in the trades. So we are hoping that we will be able to get a qualified, diverse individuals that our lives are improved through construction education. Next. So I always like to start out a little bit with the why. I'm sure many of you in your roles are very well aware of the why. But I always like to point out, all the jobs that have been added in the past 10 years, and the fact that every year almost 500,000 craft jobs are needed to be filled. What gets me the most is 61% of our contractors tell us that they are delayed in finishing projects because they don't have the people to complete them. So if you're like me and you're tired of seeing those orange barrels on our highways, hospitals aren't getting built, infrastructure's not getting repaired. It's due to the shortage of craft professionals. So we need to get more people, local people, into some of those bigger projects, those data centers, things like that that are going on, and get those projects finished. Next. So what does NCCER offer? We have a wide workforce development solution. One of the favorite parts of my job is every day I pick up the phone and I could be talking to anyone from a contractor to a nonprofit to a school to anyone trying to build a program to train people, helping them do their apprenticeship program. And that's what we do mainly. Our accreditation, we have accreditation standards that we ask all of our organizations to follow. Part of those standards, we provide instructor certification. We are built for industry by industry. Industry asks us to find a way to teach their great electricians, their great carpenters, how to be good instructors. Although most of them had been teaching out in the field and just didn't realize that's what they were doing. So we have an instructor certification process. We have instructor office hours every week. We have instructor systems training every week. We really support our instructors for all of our accredited organizations. We have our curriculum, our industry-driven curriculum. It's not just NCCER sitting down in their offices in Florida writing the curriculum. It is industry folks coming together to make sure we're current, we're up to date on all the technology and everything like that. We also have a nationally recognized skills assessment for journey level workers that many of our contractors use to help their journey level workers who did not go through an apprenticeship or have no documented training be able to be credentialed also. Our industry recognized credentials are known throughout the country. Many organizations actually have on their job descriptions now looking for an NCCER credential because they know those people have been trained by a standardized system and credentialed. Some of our free resources that I love to make sure I talk about are our construction career and recruiting resources, our Build Your Future and our Career Starter. Our Build Your Future, I used it many times to take it out to high schools, even to middle schools, to get students to look at construction as a career option. It has a quiz you can take, pick your personality, what trade you fit into. Somehow I always get masonry. I say it's because I like everything in a straight line, but I don't know if that's true. Our Career Starter is kind of like a LinkedIn profile where an employer can make a profile. They can post jobs, talk about their company. A training program can make a profile, talk about what training they offer. They can have their students link to that, and then they can follow where their students get careers at. Or the students can make their own profile, and it helps them build their resume. It puts all their NCCER credentials right on there. They can apply for jobs right there or look for additional training. We are constantly updating our construction safety curriculum. It's very important to us that safety is top of mind and always, current and technology. We just had a big update on the different hard hat regulations, some of the new technology coming out. We also have gone into some frontline management education. We were asked, what is next after I have an apprentice complete? And we have a foreman and a superintendent, which is all online now and available to students to take that next step in their career path. Next. As I mentioned, our curriculum. NCCER covers over 40 craft areas now. And again, we have subject matter experts from across the country help us develop and update all of our curriculum. All of our curriculum meet or exceeds industry standards and the Department of Labor's Office of Apprenticeship requirements. Again, I have used the NCCER curriculum to develop many registered apprenticeship programs. It is a modular system, so you can pick and choose what modules you want to use from NCCER that fit your work processes and build out that registered apprenticeship program. It is also built in levels, so you could keep it in the traditional levels. The Department of Labor is very familiar with our curriculum, and it's usually easy to get the related technical instruction approved in an apprenticeship program using the NCCER format. Again, it's competency-based, modular format, and very flexible to use. Next. So I talked a little bit about our industry-recognized credentials. So how do we keep all that information? Well, if you think of like a college registrar, we have a registry, very similar. This is where the students' online test and their hands-on skills go together and they earn module completions. As they earn those module completions, they work their way to a level or a craft completion. When they get a level completion, they get an NCCER credential. This also is where they can go to print out their transcript. They can print out those certificates. You can have a student come back 10 years plus, and all their information is still in our system. If they have one of our NCCER cards, which is the blue card on this slide, they have a QR code. They can have an employer scan that QR code, and it will take that employer right to everything that student was trained on. So no need to send away for your transcript for a job. You have it right there. It's online, secure, and free to all of our students. It's always there. Next. So as I mentioned, my name's Kayleen Smith. I do cover the state of Indiana over to New Jersey kind of area, but I am always happy to talk further about NCCER. I love to work with organizations as they build their programs. I'm happy to share anything I've done in the past. We also have Dr. Jimmy Hall, who Dr. Jimmy Hall is also available, and he has a strong background in education and is willing to help build out programs as needed. Would love to talk to you more. If you need help with anything, please reach out. Thank you and have a great day. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take those also.
None in the chat currently, but people can feel free to come off of mute and ask.
Thank you.
Next slide.
We have a question for Kayleen. Is there a directory to find NCCER instructors to come to our program to instruct?
Unfortunately, no, there isn't, because all of our organizations train their own instructors. So they are training their own employees to become NCCR instructors. So we cannot share instructors' information. But I can, if you email me or reach out to me, I'd be happy to talk to you about some of the industry partners in the area that you might look to. Or we have many CTE instructors that are using NCCR that always are looking for extra contract work or help they can do. So if you want to reach out to Jimmy or myself, we'll be more than happy to at least point you in the right direction if we can.
Another question, how does one become an instructor?
Yeah, once you're working with an accredited organization, then you can become a certified instructor. We have an online class. It's 12 hours of live Zoom sessions for anyone that has construction experience but no teaching experience. Or we have an abbreviated course for anyone that has a certified educator license, a CTE license, but you always must have some construction experience to become an NCCER instructor. We teach those instructors basically how to take what they've learned in the field, but help them with those teaching skills, help them to know about how students learn, how to manage classrooms, things like that.
How much construction experience do you need to become an instructor?
We like to see journeyman level, which we consider 4 to 5 years experience in the trade. If you have less than that, we can sometimes allow you to teach our core basic introduction to construction, but usually to teach all 4 levels of a trade, you need that experience in that trade doing it journey level, which is 4 to 5 years.
And then we have another, can you share the instructor training curriculum?
If you email me, I can share you what's in it, but I cannot share that curriculum because that's part of our training programs for our accredited organizations.
The email is above in the chat, but I will
Thank
gladly
you.
share it again. I think we can go ahead to the next presentation.
Sure. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Good to be with this group today. My name's Jack McCuse. I am the Senior Program Manager at TradesFuture. In my role, I oversee participant data reporting and tracking, also our federal reporting for our cooperative agreement with the Department of Labor. And then I also lead some work into developing best practices and standards for placement of pre-apprenticeship, and in our case, apprenticeship readiness participants. So thank you for having me on. We can jump to the next slide. And we can jump to the next. So just a brief agenda at a glance here for my time speaking. I just wanted to give an organizational and program update, an overview of our curriculum for those of you who might not be familiar, recent and ongoing curriculum updates, what we have planned for future curriculum updates, some information on our Train the Trainer sessions, and the best contact information to reach out to us at. So we can go to the next slide. So just some background on us at TradesFuture. We are a 501c3 organization that was established by North America's Building Trades Unions, also known as NAB2, and other industry stakeholders and employers. So if you have utilized our curriculum pre-2022-ish, you probably are aware that it was NAB2 spearheading, administering that curriculum, and it was actually NAB2 who developed that curriculum through their apprenticeship and training committee. which is a committee of their 14 affiliated trade unions and their national training directors. So our curriculum was really designed by the trades for the trades. What brought TradesFutures about as an organization was just the rapid expansion of our network and the participants we were serving. We really needed to set up an organization that could solely focus on our apprenticeship readiness network and curriculum. So as you can see there, where we're at right now, we have 273 registered MC3 programs across the US, and we're serving about 7,000 participants a year through those programs. So our programs are designed to provide exposure to each of the construction trades, really allowing the participant to figure out what their best fit may be, and then ultimately, hopefully, allowing them to have more success in their apprenticeship program after they complete their MC3 curriculum and receive their certificate. And we can jump to the next slide. So here's a breakdown of our MC3 curriculum, or the multi-craft core curriculum. I apologize, it's a little bit small, but starting at the top there, we have 120 required hours, starting with Unit 1, which is orientation and industry awareness. That's a required unit for 16 hours. Really just provides an overview of the industry, as well as the building trades and what to expect in registered apprenticeship programs. Unit 2 is a tools and materials unit, where we require some sort of hands-on component, whether that be visits to the training centers or visits to job sites, where they're getting that hands-on experience. Unit 3 is construction health and safety. In that, we include CPR and first aid, OSHA 10, and women's health and safety. Unit 4 will be blueprint reading. That's an elective unit, and we have that broken down into 4, 8, and 16-hour options. Unit 5, the bulk of the curriculum, is construction math. Something I've found in my work in best practices and standards for placement of MC3 graduates is that math continues to be a challenge for participants, especially when it comes to some of the more difficult apprenticeship exams. Thinking of the electricians and the plumbers and pipe fitters that are a little more math heavy. So, we dedicate a large portion of the hours to that construction math. Unit 6 is heritage of the American worker. So really just history of the construction industry, apprenticeship, and some background context there that we think is important for apprentices to know. Unit 7 is diversity in the construction industry. So that's broken down into sexual harassment and diversity awareness. Unit 8 is our green construction unit. So this was an elective unit prior to this year. As of January 2025, we asked that all our MC3 programs are teaching this unit. We also have some additional certifications available through our partner, Urban Green Council, that are available to MC3 participants. I'll touch on those a little bit later. And then finally, we finish up with the elective financial literacy, and we have 4 8-hour options there. So again, the total required hours we asked for the MC3 certification is 120. And we can jump to the next slide. So some of the recent updates to the curriculum and ongoing updates. As I mentioned on the last slide, green construction, which is Unit 8, is now required for all our MC3 programs. We do have a partnership with Urban Green Council to offer additional certifications in fundamentals of green construction and getting started with green construction. So what that entails is Urban Green offers their own curriculum in partnership with us. So we allow our MC3 participants to get signed up for that curriculum. That curriculum also actually shapes our curriculum within the MC3, so it all coincides. And then Urban Green Council offers 2 exams for the students to take to earn their certifications in both fundamentals and getting started. We also updated that green construction curriculum just recently, earlier in the year in January. Financial literacy Unit 9 also received an update this year in the spring. So it's now broken down into 5 lessons, which are saving and investment, credit and debt, protecting your finances, preparing for retirement, and budgeting. So there are some new and updated materials within that unit as well. And then we also brought on a new staff member who has some expertise in curriculum development. So we're doing a pretty large-scale content review of the curriculum to ensure our accuracy and relevancy, address any functionality issues. That would mainly be with anything that was going on with the LMS, and adding new resources and activities for our instructors. And I will note, as discussed in a previous slide, any changes to the curriculum do have to be approved by NAB2's Apprenticeship and Training Committee. So even though TradesFuture administers the curriculum, that Apprenticeship and Training Committee that created the curriculum also remains the governing body. So any revisions or changes to our curriculum have to go through that committee. And it really gives us input from the industry and helps us keep our curriculum accurate and relevant and understand what training directors, contractors, and employers are looking for. So we can go to the next slide. Curriculum updates that we have planned coming up. We are working on developing an optional 2-hour module focusing on the intersection between AI and the construction industry. We are partnering with Microsoft to develop that module. So that's early in development, but some of the key objectives and themes you'll see listed there will be to discuss the relationship and impact of AI and on trades work, share basic AI skills needed for trades work, how AI drives the construction industry, and generative AI. We're also working on converting our asynchronous units into multiple choice format as opposed to open-ended. One of the issues we found with the open-ended questions is that it was a little more cumbersome for our instructors to grade because open-ended questions aren't able to be graded efficiently by the learning management system or computer in general. So hoping to create a more efficient saving and grading process for both students and instructors and have that be a little bit more automatic. And then, of course, bypassing any of the spelling and formatting issues that come along with entering open-ended or fill-in-the-blank answers. And then the last piece we just started on, we just announced this month. We have a partnership with SkillPlan, which is a workforce development organization up in Canada who works with the Canada's building trades unions. We are going to be offering some additional resources to our registered programs, specifically focused on math, but also some additional core subjects. Really to provide supplement to those 40 hours of math. We're finding that it's just such a big challenge that our programs are in need of a little bit more support there, and especially the participants as well. So we're going to be putting together through SkillPlan essentially a learning hub that includes Trade Math 1, Trade Math 2, things like test anxiety, document use, and there's also trade-specific resources in that learning hub as well. So that's very early in development as well. We just launched that, not launched, but announced it this month. So that is up and coming. We're excited about that one. We can jump to the next slide. And there's just a note on our Train the Trainer sessions. So we do offer sessions twice a month to train new MC3 instructors, both on the curriculum, the industry, and our learning management system. Those take place twice a month, and it's 2 3.5-hour classes. So seven hours over 2 days with a little bit of work after class. You see our upcoming sessions there. I apologize, that one passed. The first one listed there, December 3rd and 4th. But our last one for the year is December 17th and 18th. And we're working on finalizing our 2026 schedule, which will be posted to our website. We can jump to the next slide. And then just contact information for us. We have a new program at tradesfutures.org email, which you can reach out for any inquiries concerning the MC3 or our apprenticeship readiness program or anything that I discussed today. We also on our website, under the apprenticeship readiness program page, and our website's tradesfutures.org, we have dedicated resource pages for both prospective programs. So anyone who might be interested in offering our curriculum, or our registered MC3 programs, those who are already offering it. We have 2 password protected pages that are now available, and you can reach out to that email listed there to get access to those if you are interested. And then again, just the link there to our website and our apprenticeship readiness program page, where there's a lot of great resources listed and more about our curriculum and program. And I think that's it for me. I'm happy to take any questions though.
So none currently in the chat.
Okay.
You all can either share them here or you all can come off of mute. We have a couple of minutes that we can spare for questions.
And I will say, if questions do come up, you can feel free to reach out to that program email, and then the correct person from our team, our program team, can reach out to you and get you pointed in the right direction as well.
Yep, nothing's coming in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, are you ready for me?
Yes, we are ready.
All right, sounds good. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Whitney Thompson. I'm the Deputy Director for Workforce Education for the Illinois Community College Board. Thank you for having me here today, and happy lunchtime if you're enjoying your lunch while listening. So I've been with the board just about 12 years, and I oversee our adult education, career and technical education, and workforce divisions here at the board. Obviously, lots of workforce initiatives happening. All right, we'll just move right in. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, thank you. So to give you just some background here, and obviously the ICCB is a little bit different than the previous two presenters in terms of what we are, right? We're a state agency, we're different. We don't have curriculum, ready-made curriculum for you all to take, but obviously some of these grantees are community colleges, and if you are not a community college, you can most definitely partner with and utilize your community college partnerships to advance your program or connect your pre-apprenticeship program into any of their apprenticeship programs. But we are the third largest community college system in the country. We are the largest workforce training provider in the state. There are 39 districts, 45 colleges. All colleges provide, we're a comprehensive community college system, meaning that we provide both transfer courses, as well as credit and non-credit workforce training, adult education, English language acquisition, community education, etc. Next, please. So the ICCB, just to give again some more background here, the ICCB was created in 1965 to create a statewide system of public community colleges. So we came in after actually several community colleges have already been existed in Illinois at the time. We are the state agency responsible for coordinating and supporting the community college system. We provide leadership on policy development, system planning. Our authority comes through the Public Community College Act, where we are responsible for, as I said, system planning, but also student level data collection. We set standards and evaluate community colleges through a process called recognition. We approve, disapprove, and review programs that are offered, so the curriculum that you may be utilizing for your Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program has probably been approved by us if you're a community college. And we administer the state's adult education system. Next. All right, to give you a sense of program approval, all credit-bearing programs must be approved by the community college board. So this includes short-term CTE programs, as well as all of our associate degrees. Degree programs also must go through approval at the Board of Higher Education, whereas our certificate programs do not. They're approved by us, and then you can move forward with accreditation and other approval processes. All courses for which the community college seeks state funding, and that is that credit hour reimbursement or apportionment, as we sometimes call it, must go through an approval process as well. And this could even be those on the non-credit side. We have various processes for creating courses, but also modifying and withdrawing courses. And so I think it's really important to know that Dr. Tricia Broughton is our main point of contact for all things course and program approval, except for our adult education courses. That goes through Dr. Kathy Olson-Tracy. But I have provided a link here if you, colleges are very well versed in program approval. So, but we have a manual, it's like 200 pages, but it's a very, can be a very complex process due to the various quality checks that we have there. All right, next slide, please. Thank you. All right, to give you a sense of some of our offerings here, and I talked a little bit about program approval, but our colleges offer career technical education. There are over 4,000 approved CTE programs in the system now, and we also serve a significant number of non-credit workforce training students, and we have a variety of programs. Again, some of which what you may be offering, right, falls on the credit side or the non-credit side. But I think it's really important to note that these could be really good, meaningful on-ramps as you think about collaborations. Next. All right, and I'm just going to skip to apprenticeships, and then I'll talk a little bit about adult education. So similarly, the community colleges are engaged significantly in apprenticeship programming, and some of that is through the support of Illinois Works, so we appreciate that. Just over 50% of our community colleges offer pre-apprenticeship programs. Right at 80% offer related technical instruction through apprenticeship programs. And then many, about 1 in 4, serve as program sponsors for the Department of Labor registered apprenticeship programs. There are over 241 unique apprenticeship programs offered by a community college around the state in partnership with employers. The majority of those are registered with the U.S. Department of Labor. And although there is significant variety, the majority are in manufacturing, healthcare, and information technology, with a real large portion of that being in the construction trades. And then lastly here, so as you're thinking about, and I'm sorry to make another point, put another point on the apprenticeship programs, as you're thinking about your pre-apprenticeship programs and then connecting those to full apprenticeship programs, your community college partners would be great to make those connections. All right, next we'll talk about adult education. So we also, as I mentioned earlier, have statutory authority to oversee the state adult education system here in Illinois, and that system is made up of more than community colleges. We have 70 funded, approved adult education providers ranging from local offices of education, corrections, community-based organizations. I saw on the list of approved providers through Illinois Works, there's 2 CBOs that fall in this it falls in our approved adult education provider list, faith-based institutions, and a four-year institution, which is also a part of Illinois Works. And again, as you know, if you're not familiar, the adult education program is free. Adult education programming, which prepares students for individual adults, right, for that preparation for the high school diploma, the adult high school diploma specifically. We have English language learning courses, and we serve about 60,000 students a year. All of our providers are required to offer a bridge or an integrated education and training program. And I know for Illinois Works, your students must be 18 and also have their high school diploma or its equivalent. But there could be some really great partnership opportunities for you all in thinking about bringing students in that complete our adult ed programs that can come to your pre-apprenticeship program. But we have a model in the system, whereas our integrated education and training program is built into our pre-apprenticeship program. So that student is finishing their GED, for example, at the same time that they're enrolled in a workforce training program, and they sort of complete that and it culminates at the same time. And we did that a couple of years ago through a Department of Labor grant. So some really great connection points here. For those of you that aren't in the auspice of our system, either a community college or an adult education provider, I just wanted to make sure you were aware that I think these connections could be really meaningful in your local communities. And if you're interested to know what adult ed providers are in your area, we have a website here called Your Path, Your Future, where individuals can find those providers and see what type of programs that they offer. All right, next slide. And lastly, this is mostly, again, since we only have a couple of programs that this applies to that are a part of the Illinois Works program, I'll just go through it quickly. I just think it's really important to know that because our adult education bridge and IET programs have to go through an approval process here, we've worked with the Board of Higher Education for those that are non-community colleges to come to an agreement on what would also need IBHE approval under the PBVS, which is the private business vocational school approvals, and what level of approval would be needed. So if you have questions about that, I've laid that out here, but if you have questions, you can reach out to Dr. Kathy Olson Tracy. And so we're just trying to streamline approval processes and make sure you're not going through several layers of approvals. And so again, that is specific to those funded adult education providers that are not community colleges that are operating short-term training programs through or bridge programs through their IETs. All right, next, please. All right, so that's the quick and dirty for you. Here are our contact information. Shall you have any questions, you can reach out to me if you have specific questions based on some of the content here. I have a couple of other staff, Kathy as well as Trisha. But I'm happy to answer any questions here today.
So far, none in the chat, but same script. You all can ask any questions in the chat or feel free to come off mute.
I'll take that silence as I was quick, but also very comprehensive. So thank you so much.
In just a minute, we are going to continue with our evaluation of our session today. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you for all the presenters. You did a great job, very informative. And we're just, grateful that you were able to take time out of your day to be with us. And in a minute, we will do a feedback evaluation for all of our participants. And to all of you, thank you for joining us today. We had a pretty good crowd registered and a pretty good crowd that showed up. So we appreciate that. And just shortly, we will make the link available to all of you. It is in the chat, so feel free to click Mentimeter or menti.com and use the code 8943-8916, or you can click the web link to access it, and you'll be able to enter in and give feedback today. And as soon as we are able to, I'm going to go with the first question if you're in, and we'll share the screen when it's available. The first question is asking, please share your views on this training by rating the following statements from 1 being the lowest to 10 being the highest. Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. To what extent did it meet your expectations? How likely you are to attend a similar event in the future, and how likely you are to recommend this training to others? Please go ahead and give your feedback. Looks like we are getting some really good contributions here. We have about 27 participants, maybe 33 in all, 34 in all. So there are quite a few people who are still plugging in their response. Feel free to do that. We'll give you about 20 more seconds. Great. Looks like we are doing very well. Let's go on to the next slide. So the course is relevant to what I wanted to learn about this subject matter. And so this one, you want to rate this strongly disagree, somewhat disagree, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat agree, and agree, strongly agree. And as you notice, it kind of moves in its position a little bit. So just keep an eye on that when you make your selection. But thank you for those who started contributing. I think there are quite a few more people who are ready to give their feedback. We have about 9 people responded. I'll give you a few more seconds for other people who want to add their feedback. Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to add your feedback to this question? Thank you. All right, let's move on to the next question. Again, with the same set of word, I plan to apply what I learned from strongly agree to strongly disagree. There was a lot of good information provided by each of our guest speakers, and certainly useful information in terms of what we can do moving forward for year 2026. So I thank you all for your contributions and your feedback. Is there anyone else who'd like to add before we go to the next slide? Okay, thank you. Next, please. What improvements might you recommend? Here's an opportunity for you to give us feedback and tell us what you think would really be good for you to understand or be shared with in another Toolbox Tuesday. We do these Toolbox Tuesdays once a month, so anything that you would like to know more about would be a good recommendation for us to plan to do that. So far we have This Is Just Fine, NA, None at this time. Great information, especially within an hour. I think so too. Keep a regular schedule and not changing the dates. Maybe provide a one-pager from the presenters for us to share with our students and graduates. That's a good suggestion. No suggestions that this was very informative. Continue to inviting us. The next one here says, if there are any demos or live examples of some of the platforms we covered, it'd be good to get an idea for the UI that both students and instructors can use. Fantastic presentation, great. Upload the recordings. The recordings will be uploaded in the partner guide, as well as a copy of the presentation slides. Here's another one. Have a conversation topics posted on Toolbox Tuesdays so we know which meetings have specific application for certain roles. Okay, I can understand that. I see what you're saying. Thank you. Any other recommendations before we move on to the next slide? All right, next, please. What did you find effective? If we make any changes, what would you recommend that we keep? As it relates to Toolbox Tuesdays, what do you think is the most effective thing that you can take away from this webinar? Okay, I'd like to have the experts present. I liked having, the experts present. Yes. The breakdown of the trainings. Good. Anything else? Appreciate the information shared by the presenters. Certainly keep the pace and having all the programs represented like they were today. It's good to see the training options side by side. Love that presenters offer their personal information so we can reach out personally with any additional questions, whether tomorrow or next week. Good. Keep it short and relevant. Great expert feedback and presentation. Presentations by the experts. Sounds like there's a theme here. Presenters' feedback and overall knowledge. Good. Any other recommendations before we move on to our final slide? All right. Thank you. We have one more here. It says, these presentations were great. I find that seeking employment or continued education opportunities after graduation are difficult. So these are great tools, and I love the contact information to reach out. Thank you for that. And then again, we have one more that's no comment. And let's go on to our next slide. Is there anything else about this course you think we should know? Maybe we didn't catch something that you thought was valuable. What would that look like? Can you share anything that you think we should know? We have our first comment. No comment. Anyone else? Nothing comes to mind. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. No NA. Anything else? I think more information about the Career Services team. Thank you. Anything else? NA. All right. Well, it looks like we've got as many as we are going to receive on this question. I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and you have a wonderful week. Bye-bye, everyone.